Hello and welcome back to OJ Coaching, your stop for inspirational and educational content to help you live a disciplined and a successful life. On today's episode, we are highlighting something that has to do with women in honor of the recently concluded International Women's Day. And with me on the episode today is a delectable woman who wears many hats, as is typical of womanhood, but we will be zoning down on a specific topic today. I'll let her introduce herself and tell us what the main discussion of today will be. Welcome. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Peace Godwin. I am a wife, a mother, and I'm also a consultant working with one of the big fours. We are here today to talk about nurturing in the specific sense of pregnancy, and happy to be here, and I hope you enjoy the discussion. Yeah.
Yes. So we're talking about pregnancy today. Now, when you hear pregnancy, what comes to mind? Maybe I should dial back to before your pregnancy. Whenever you thought of pregnancy, maybe after you got married and you're anticipating getting pregnant, what came to mind, and did it differ from reality?
So, before I got pregnant, I think what was on my mind was as silly as it sounds, the baby bump. So I just loved the baby bump, you know when you put your hands up, one hand down, one hand up. So I just loved that. And also I before getting pregnant, what comes to mind, what came to mind during that period before pregnancy was, I'm going to carry another human being. It was fascinating, and I was actually looking forward to being pregnant. Now, that's not the case for many women. Some women have not so positive, just negative memories or thoughts about pregnancy. So for me, it was positive. I wanted to get pregnant because first, silly, the baby bump, but that's not the case for a lot of women, but that doesn't make pregnancy, a negative experience on its own. Yeah.
Okay. So now you touched on something. For some women, it's not exactly so fascinating. So we know that pregnancy is publicly celebrated, but women face hidden challenges. Mm-hmm. What are some of those challenges that make it different from the excitement of the superficial aspect of it that women often have to confront in the pregnancy journey?
So I think one is anxiety, about the pregnancy journey, and sometimes possibly fear of complications. So some women just are afraid. It's a 9-month journey, right? So at some point, some women are scared. They hear things about miscarriages. They hear things about things that can go wrong in pregnancy, and there's this fear of those things happening to them. That's one for the mental aspect, anxiety, and then fear of complications, right? And for physical aspects, some women have challenges in terms of tiredness or fatigue in that sense, where they are extremely tired. During my time, it was the case for my first pregnancy where I was extremely tired. Now, not everyone would understand that kind of tiredness. They wouldn't really understand that kind of tiredness. Oh, why are you always tired? Are you the first pregnant woman and all of that? But yes, that's one challenge that a pregnant woman can face, especially physically.
Okay, before I go on to the next question, one question arose from what you just said.
Yes.
So is there an explanation for the physical tiredness? Was there an explanation in your own case? Some women, when they're pregnant, they're very strong, they're up and doing, or is it a stage-by-stage thing? So does it get better? Because it's good to highlight this for people as they navigate the journey. Yeah.
So I think everyone should understand that everybody's case is different. Everybody's experience is different. So there are some women in their pregnancy journey that they would feel really, really strong, and some others would feel tired most of the time. So it's different, and it also differs pregnancy by pregnancy with the same woman, right? So I wouldn't say it points to a particular factor. So it depends on how your body reacts to that pregnancy. You might be strong in your first pregnancy and be so tired in your second pregnancy. So, and that pressure, I think that's something that we need to really deal with in the society, where there's this pressure that a pregnant woman has to be strong. You know, we see pregnant women that are strong, and we are so we are fascinated and thinking that's how it should be
for everybody.
It should be for everybody. No, that is not how it should be for everybody. Everybody's case is different. And so that the fatigue is not explained by a particular factor to say, okay, this is what is making this woman to. It's we can say, oh, maybe the fatigue is explained in some cases medically, right? So, but it's not the case for everyone, like I said. So we should not generalize that, you know, that's the case for everybody. No.
Yeah, it's not the case for everybody, but are there things that a woman could do? For example, like if you're really, really tired, I think a person should seek some medical, just to rule out any underlying medical
yes.
Because I know sometimes it could be maybe iron is low, the diet is not right for the pregnancy, or you know, maybe the woman is just stressed out with too much work, or there could be other pressures of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in such cases, when you've ruled out, you know, the medical, if there's any medical, everything is fine, and you still feel like that, which sometimes can be the case. For me, that was the case. So medically everything was fine before, you know, the later part of my the pregnancy, where gestational hypertension came in, but everything was fine at the initial stage, and but at the end of the day I could still feel really, really tired. Your body is doing work. It's growing a human being.
It's a whole
so
factory.
It's constantly
production, 24/7 production.
Exactly. So it's constantly working. So it's kind of natural to feel tired or to feel fatigue. If it's extreme, then rule out the medical part. Then rule out whatever it is that you think, stress, whatever I think that could be causing that.
But if it still remains,
Space
pace yourself and just slow down. Just
slow
enjoy.
down.
Go as far as your body can take you per time. While trusting God for strength. But just don't try to be like the other pregnant woman.
That's the thing. Just take that pressure off yourself. That, oh, I need to be as strong as Mrs. This.
Cut yourself some slack, like.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's for somebody out there, right? You don't need to compare yourself to the next pregnant woman who is up and running and jumping about. Listen to your body in pregnancy. Listen to your body. And okay, so you mentioned different challenges. So there's the anxiety, there's the fatigue and all of that. But there could also be the impact that pregnancy has on maybe your confidence, your self-image, self-worth. Did you encounter anything like that in your pregnancy? I did. And I'll tell the story when you've answered.
Okay. On my self-worth, I don't think it had anything to do with my self-worth, or it, you know, diminished my confidence per se. I think during that period I was more confident. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to the bump. So I would just, you know, wear dresses that would bring out the bump. You know, walk around. So different strokes for different folks, right? So it wasn't the case where I lost my confidence or maybe my confidence diminished. No, that was not the case for me.
Okay. That was good.
Yes, it wasn't the case for me at all. But yeah, for some people it could
because
be different.
I think maybe depending on how vain a person is,
right, the
changes that pregnancy can hit your body with may actually affect your self-worth, and also maybe the mood swings too. I think so. For example, some people have like really big breakouts that may make you feel, oh, am I still looking good?
Yeah.
But for me, this is one experience I had. So while I was pregnant for my first pregnancy, during my first pregnancy, I was part of a training class. It was a language class because we had moved to another country, and so we had this regular language classes. And during one of those days, some of my classmates just decided that, oh my goodness, you're looking good, your pump is coming out, let's take a picture of you. So they took a picture, and then when they showed me the picture, I was so shocked. That, is this me? When did I grow this big? And instead of being excited, I started to cry. That's just vanity, right? I'm serious. I was shocked. Like, I mean, then I wasn't really taking pictures all the time, but they took it with themselves, and I looked at it and, when did I become this round? When did I become this big? Oh my goodness. And I started to cry. They were shocked. My friends were really trying to make me feel good, and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, many years after I looked at that picture, and I was like, oh, this picture wasn't bad. But I think just the sudden change, it was because I used to be really slim, and then all of a sudden, I was just like, what has happened? So I think the mirror wasn't telling me, but the picture told me, and I was like, oh my goodness, like.
Yeah. So I think if women have that preconceived thought about the, how they would be when they're pregnant, I think they would not be as shocked as you. For me, I knew that my nose will be big.
Okay, I didn't know my body would change so much.
Yes, I was prepared for it. So I think preparing for how the changes would affect you is very key.
Settle it in your mind that, okay, it can go this way. You may be round, your nose may be big, your whatever. So if you can settle it in your mind, and it's just a season. Yeah.
Right? It's just a season.
Yes.
So the nose being big, will come back to normal. So for me.
But what if I didn't know then that I would ever, like, for me, it was just like, oh my
go
goodness,
back
things
to
are
normal.
Things are really.
So yeah, in such cases, I would advise that you settle it in your mind.
That your body is going to change.
That your body will change. There's no, it will change. So if you can settle that, whatever you see, that, okay, it's part of the change.
Journey.
You accept it quickly and just move on.
Yeah.
It will prevent any confidence diminishing or anything like that.
Okay. So thank you very much for sharing that. Next, I want us to talk about a moment. Was there a moment when you felt that pregnancy was heavier than people realized?
Heavier than people realized.
Or maybe it could have been maybe at work, or maybe among friends, family. Was there anything that made you...
So heavier than they realized.
Okay, so for example, I'm going to... now, let me move away from pregnancy, because I didn't really feel that during pregnancy. Oh, no, maybe I did.
Okay.
Maybe when people don't realize the seriousness of some of the symptoms.
Oh, I see.
Of how serious, if I'm saying,
how serious it is.
I can't stand the smell.
Yeah.
And so for example, when I first got pregnant, we used to have air fresheners. These air fresheners plugged in around the house. It was okay. When I got pregnant, I couldn't stand the smell. And so I took them all out. I couldn't. For some reason, it just wasn't working with my system. And so I think my husband didn't realize how serious this is, just air freshener.
Yeah.
So I think he put some back. And one day we had gone out. As soon as we stepped into the house, the scent of the air freshener hit me. And I was just shouting, this thing is harming me, this thing is harming me. I think I was very dramatic during my first pregnancy. And I think he was shocked. Till date, he doesn't put on air freshener.
So for me, it was the smell of fried eggs. So I get what you mean by, So for me, it was fried eggs. And in such cases, I think the family members, spouses, workplace colleagues should understand the gravity of those things. So and also they should know that you're not joking when you say that you don't like those things, or those things are affecting you in the pregnancy. Like they shouldn't take it as a joke, or they shouldn't diminish the severity of what you're saying. That's something that we can do as a community to make sure that when a pregnant woman says something is affecting her, you should really take it seriously.
Yeah.
If she's saying this flower is affecting her, you should take it out. Like, make the environment conducive for her, whether it's at home, at work, wherever. Just make the environment conducive for her. And if everybody does that, yeah,
we'll have
a
happier
smooth
pregnant women,
pregnant women,
more successful
yes.
pregnancy journeys. Well, yeah. So now, what does meaningful support from a spouse look like? Yeah.
So I think meaningful support first starts with emotional support, and before it goes to physical support, I think emotional support is very crucial. And one thing that during my pregnancy journey was I thought about a support where spouses should always go to what they call it, a prenatal.
Oh, with their spouses.
With their spouses. I don't know if it was just me, but I saw that as a very tangible support. Like, no matter what you are doing, no matter where you are walking,
carry some of these things.
Yes, like, go for those appointments with your pregnant wife. I will go to some of those appointments, and I would see some women coming alone. Now, I would not assume that they have partners or spouses, but if they do, in my mind, I'm thinking that is one tangible support area. Follow her to appointments, be that support, right? And even at home, make sure you take charge of some of the things that she used to do before she got pregnant, that she's not able to do anymore. Things like washing the plates. Well, there's dishwasher, so
get
them into the dishwasher. Doing the laundry. Cleaning the rooms, cleaning the floors, doing all of those things, right? Or if you can't do them, get someone to do them and pay them. Outsource. If you can't do them yourself, outsource those things that she cannot do anymore. And just for that phase, right? Help her out.
And I just want to say something that in support of the spouses, or to also encourage the spouses, that the pregnancy season can be heavy for both the man and the woman.
Yes.
Because now the man also has to, pull in some weight in the areas where the woman may be slacking. So both spouses should actually realize that even if the man is not carrying it physically, he's also carrying it in his mind.
Yes.
He's carrying it in other responsibilities. So you should just give each other grace.
Yes.
Take extra care of each other during that season. As a man takes care of the wife should also take care of the husband. So that's
very key.
Yeah. Because men can I know women who can't cook at all, and the man has to step into that role in addition to whatever he was doing before. So it's a time for spouses to actually nurture each other. The nurturing journey is part. The spousal support, the co-support from each spouse is also part of the pregnancy journey.
Yes, and the fact that you are pregnant, or as a woman, the fact that you are pregnant does not mean you cannot support your husband. And most especially be appreciative, be appreciative, so he's supporting you more because you're pregnant. Be appreciative, just make sure that he knows that you appreciate that he is supporting you.
And I think that all that a woman can still do in pregnancy, she should do.
Yes.
It's only maybe if she really can't do them. But because pregnancy is not a disease, you will still be able to function. So as much as you can do, because I think it's even better, because the more you do nothing, the more you feel all the production process going on in your body. When you sit down and all you do, all the attention is focused on all that is going on in your body. I think it's easier maybe when you distract yourself with some other things, like if you can go to work and take a walk, spend time with friends, do some things around the house to just distract yourself from the whole. Sometimes you can actually really feel the chemical. I don't know if everybody feels you feel all that's going on in your body sometimes, So I just wanted us to really educate people, to help people navigate the journey better. You may feel different symptoms. We moved on from there a bit, but I wanted to say this, for example, when I was pregnant, there's this taste that stays in my mouth from the beginning to the end of the pregnancy. my mouth is just not my mouth. There's some
Wow.
taste, no
Yeah.
matter how much I brush my mouth, that nothing could take. There's this taste. But later in during my second pregnancy, I now stumbled upon a particular kind of toothpaste that had maybe baking soda that would sort of help
Help.
a bit with, but soon after it comes back. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I won't be like those women that get pregnant like 7 times, because why would I lose the taste in my mouth?
So just because you don't want to lose the taste in your mouth, you know.
No, but to be honest, pregnancy comes sometimes with some serious prizes, but it also has its joys. Now, I want us to share some of the joys of the pregnancy journey in the light of how family and community can bring in support during that season.
So for family, I think family members should bring in support by asking for how they can bring in support. So don't just assume that this
you
is
know
the
what they
way,
need.
or this is the support area that the pregnant woman wants support or needs support. You should ask for what area of support she needs. Some people just show up and just visit, or ask first
Yeah.
before you show that support.
Yeah.
Some pregnant women just want you to come and help them clean the house. They just want you to come and help them cook, meal prep, for example. And you come over and you are doing something else. You are gisting. She's probably not in the mood to gist at that point. So why not ask for
How can I help
how can
you
I
if you
help
truly want
you?
to support?
Yes, if you truly want to support. So
Yeah.
ask first so that you
Okay.
can know the areas to support.
Okay. Now, going by your pregnancy journey, are there any gaps you saw in society of how maybe the society could support pregnant women? Facilities, initiatives, incentives, apart from what is already there.
I mean, there's plenty already there, Sha.
There's
There's plenty in this part of the world. So one aspect that I think this would speak more to immigrant women. And that's because they feel the loneliness here, when they are pregnant. I don't know if it's something that, policy would change, but having that community or family,
when you're
a
new
community
in a place,
when you're
just by
new in the
yourself.
place, yes. I don't know how policies will change that, but for a pregnant woman who's an immigrant, who is lonely and just by herself, maybe with a spouse or whatever, can just the community can step up to be there for her.
Yeah.
And these women should actually seek to connect.
With other people.
Yes, with other people.
There are many avenues.
Yes, there are many avenues. Seek to connect. There's the baby club, all of those things that are available here in Newfoundland and
Even the
in
faith-based
Canada.
association, not many churches have
Yes.
avenues for
For supporting pregnant women. So don't just stay alone and be like, nobody cares, or nobody. No,
Make
no.
an effort.
Make an effort to
create
actually
community.
connect, to create that community, and then you see that there are things that you benefit from being part of the community.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
If you were going to create something for pregnant women in the society today, if you were going to launch a project or something, what would it be from your own experience?
It will be to create a place or a space where a pregnant woman who is feeling overwhelmed would just go
And get pampered.
and get pampered. Seriously.
Free of charge.
Well, I mean, if it's going to run as a
As a
if it's gonna run as a business, then I would charge for that. But if it's gonna run as a charity or whatever, then I could get grants for something like that. But it would entail having a building and all of. But
like a spa for pregnant women.
yes, just a
Women,
space. It's
a
only
space.
It's going to be only for pregnant
Not
women.
women.
It's not going to be for all women. So
Okay.
if the season where you're pregnant, or when a woman is pregnant, you can
I think we should patent
go
that
there.
idea. That's a good idea. because
Because
that's
I
something
was
that does
looking-
not exist.
I was looking for
don't know
such.
about.
I was looking for such places when I was pregnant. I still remember the very day I was really overwhelmed, and I drove to Avalon Mall at around 7 a.m. or so. I stayed in the car, just everywhere was quiet. It was on a Saturday. Everywhere was quiet. I just stayed in the car.
Just wanted a quiet
Yes,
spot.
I did not want to talk to anybody. I put up my phone. It was something. And in my mind, I was like, wait, there's nowhere in this city
That
I could just go and just, somebody is at the front desk. I'm like, oh, you're pregnant. Yes, come in. And
That's so
you know,
good.
just come in. Okay, there's this quiet room, whatever. They can put books or whatever there. You just
Some
go there,
music,
go
quiet
there.
music.
Yes. So you just leave your house. You're not going to someone else's house. It's just a space, a different space, completely different space. Yes, I know people can say, oh, you can go to your friend's house. But it's the same thing for me. It's the same thing. I want a space where I don't know anybody or whatever. Just go there and have some peace and quiet for some hours before going back to the chaos.
Thank you so much. One, maybe it's a final question. What were some of those supports that really meant a lot to you during your pregnancy? Maybe from family or from community or from friends?
I think it was the checking up on me.
Apart from baby showers, what were some of those things that people did that actually,
it was a checking up on me, and also bringing me food. So that was a tangible support for me. Friends, family, they'll bring me food. For my second pregnancy,
especially around your cravings.
Yes, around cravings. Yes, and I used to crave spicy food. So, and my mother-in-law was here during my second pregnancy, so she would cook all sorts of food.
You were blessed.
So yes, so that's bringing me food so that I don't have to cook. I love to cook, but during that season, it was really a struggle. Yeah. So having friends and family members bring food or just come to cook for me was a tangible support that I had.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been very informative, and I'm hoping that it shines the light on somebody's path and helps them to navigate the pregnancy journey. So we've said a number of things today. Even if no two pregnancies are the same, your experience in one pregnancy may totally differ from another pregnancy. Be prepared that your body is going to undergo changes. Prepare your mind. Look beyond the baby bump. And also don't be naive. Just know that this is a journey and it could change your whole body image and everything. Be ready for that. There's something important that we must not leave out before we go. The spiritual aspect of things.
Yes.
How does a person engage spiritually during the pregnancy journey? What are some of the things that a woman can do to take care of herself? Did we even talk about taking care of herself spiritually?
Nurturing spiritually. Yes. So first of all, I still remember, first of all, prayer is very important, right? Like we were mentioning that you are co-creating with God.
Yeah.
So that is also a time to be closer to God.
Because it's a partnership.
It's partnership. So it's like God has chosen you as the factory building for that product or for that piece.
He's the supervisor.
So he's coming to check what's going. So you need to be close to him, even especially at that time. Yes, for other areas of your life as well. And also one thing that helped me during that period was worship. So even science backs it up that worship calms the nervous system. So when you are anxious, we talked about anxiety as a challenge and fear of complications. When you are anxious, when you're afraid, will something go wrong? Would this go wrong? You should always, for me, it was worship. There are outlets, prayer, worship. It was worship. And scriptural declarations as well would bring you peace. Mine was Isaiah 66 verse 9, where it says, will I bring to birth and not deliver?
Hallelujah.
It was constantly my verse throughout both pregnancies, God will not bring
Me to this point.
to this point and not deliver.
Mhm.
So he will take me to the end. So whatever I'm even seeing at 5 months or 6 months, I am still convinced that I will get to 9 months. Whatever it is
like
I'm
that.
saying,
I
I
like
am
that.
at 5 months. Oh, there's a pain in the lower abdomen. There's a whatever. I'm still convinced that he will take me to 9
Beautiful.
months.
Yeah.
It's what
Yeah.
I'm declaring that scripture. I'm telling God, we are co-creating this baby together. So you will not leave the project. You are the project manager. You will not leave
You
the
will
project.
finish
You
your-
will finish.
finish up.
We'll finish handover reports.
Hallelujah.
All those things. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And one thing I know also about that stage is while we encourage the woman to focus and take care of herself, you're also already building the child.
Yes.
You are building the child's brain.
Yes.
You are building the child's spirit. You are building the child's body. So labor to take good care of yourself. Take good care of yourself, because one thing about the journey is that the baby will take its own demands from your body.
Yes.
Nonetheless, if the baby
Yes.
needs calcium, it will draw it from your bones.
Yep.
The baby needs magnesium, it will draw it from your body. So if you don't labor to get in enough through your food, healthy diet, supplements, you may have a deficit after. I've heard of
Yes.
pregnant women who, after they give birth to their children, they have bone problems, they can't walk and things like that. So you need to intelligently take care of your body and, like Peace shared, take care of your spirit. And also, I think from about 2 months, the child's ears are developed, so they can actually hear.
Yeah.
Begin to speak to them, begin to nurture them, nurture their spirits. One of the things you can do is read God's word to them.
Yes.
Read God's word to them. I read God's word to my children in the womb daily. I would start to read the Bible to them. Begin to train them in the way they should go from when they can hear you, because they can actually hear sounds and respond. Speak to them. I also recognized or learned that classical music helps their brain development. So even from the womb, you can expose yourself to a lot of, classical music that sort of helps their brain waves to develop well. What else haven't we talked? We just want to help.
And also because you are part of the project,
Yeah.
hand in hand with God, you can actually ask for things about the
baby.
product, about the baby.
God can, yes,
Yes.
you can actually
So,
custom
yes.
custom order.
Your custom order, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
we have already
True.
you've gotten to the stage where ears are being developed, things are being developed. You're asking God, oh Lord, I want my baby's head to be full. I want
you can
this.
actually.
You can
It's
actually
true.
ask
I like
God,
that part of
to
your
customize
whole
this.
thought. Yes, you can actually. One of the things I did during my pregnancy journey was to check what's developing this week, because you can check what's developing on week 1. Maybe
Yes.
the heart is now formed. Your baby is like this. You can take time to pray for that heart. Pray that that
Yes.
heart will love the Lord, and
Yep.
pray that heart will be disease free. So you can pray for the heart physically,
Yes.
spiritually, begin to design
yeah.
the things that you want it to do.
Yes.
So let me share one funny story. When I was pregnant with my second baby, I usually pray, God, let my babies come out beautiful, let them be fine and all of that. So when my baby boy came out, it was a long labor process and everything. So I think in the push, his head became a bit there's a way to be up, and it came out. It was dark. I'd never really seen a baby come out like dark. But one thing during my second pregnancy was that I craved chocolate a lot. So I don't know if that played into it.
Yeah.
So it came out. I was just like, I've never seen a baby come out dark skinned. God, I pray that my baby will be fine. I had a notion of fine in my head, and when the baby came out, it didn't quite look like the fine ass. I said, okay, well, if maybe that was a vain prayer, maybe God didn't think it was something to answer. But give it a few weeks after the child was born, it started to change and look so good. Everybody will carry baby and say, oh my goodness, this boy is so handsome. And I would think in my heart, oh God, you answered after all.
Yes, he does answer.
So God does answer the
Yes.
prayers you pray
Yes.
in terms of co-creating with him about your
Yes.
child. Make sure you don't just ask for the vain things, that
True.
not just the looks. Ask for the talent, abilities.
Yes.
Ask about the child, and stand with God in God's purposes for them. He can reveal things to you
Yes.
right from there.
And he will reveal things to you
Yeah.
about the child. You
Yeah.
know, our first daughter, it was what he revealed to us that we named her Grace. So even with names,
Even
don't
names,
just go
yes,
and
don't just
Google
yeah,
these names, right?
it's true.
Ask God what the name of the
Yes.
child should be.
Yes.
He can give you the meaning, then you go and look for what that means, and then have a name, or he can
Yeah.
give you a name.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
he chooses to do it, but ask.
Yes. Pregnancy is a sacred journey.
It
It's
is.
beyond physiological, because you are part of the coming out of another human being. I remember when my baby first came, I used to look at her and I'm just thinking, this is a separate human being that came
Yes.
out of me. And, you know, so because it's so sacred, I think we need to pay attention and labor to do it very well.
Yes.
As we round up, I just want to say, if you're here, you're pregnant, and it looks like a struggle at this moment, hang in there. It's not everlasting, it's just for a while. By God's help, you can push through successfully, and that is His plan for you. So keep trusting, keep believing Him, keep pressing on, and we wish you a safe delivery. And if you're here watching us preparing, make sure that you get good information to prepare you for the journey. Don't just jump into pregnancy. It's like an assignment to co-create with God. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Supporters, family, friends, make sure that you look out for a pregnant woman and be a part of making their journey easier and more successful. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode dedicated to the International Women's Day, and thank you so much, Peace, for
Thank
coming
you
with
for
us
having me.
today and giving us so much useful information. We do hope you have been blessed. If you have other thoughts about the pregnancy journey, things you feel would help other people, or you have questions, or you just have comments, put it in the comment section below. Remember to like, share, subscribe until we bring you the next episode. Bye, and God bless you from us at OJ Coaching. Goodbye.